Hi. There is another use case or the business scenario that I'm trying to discuss today. So there is a standard, T code ME2L. So purchase documents per vendor. So let me open the Paint. So we know basically any business starts from either customer to vendor or from vendor to customer, right? If it is a purchase order, right? If it is a purchase order, always the purchase order will be raised from vendor, right? Always purchase order will be raised from customer to vendor. If it is sales order will be raised from vendor to customer. So this is the business. Now, standard T code ME2L is, so how many purchase documents are created for a particular vendor, right? So to this particular vendor, so let's say MRF is my vendor now. So to this particular vendor, how many purchase orders are raised? So vendor is, so let's say MRF types. I'm just giving a vague example, guys. Again, I'm telling you my classes and my scenarios are only for the guys who are just trained and who are ready to face the interviews, right? Even my sessions also, I am just trying to cover the topics only for them, right? So not for the guys who are really working in the offices. Right? So MRF is a company. Now for this particular vendor, how many purchase orders are raised? Right. So that is what purchase documents per vendor. So this is the standard T code that we have. In this particular standard T code, I'm just giving one of the business cases which you can happily practice and you can use it however it is needed for you. Right. So let me go for the variant. I don't know what is the data that I have to give here. So let me select any one of the existing variant. So this is some purchase organization and something. I don't know what is all this. At least for now, just let me say execute. I'll try to finish it as soon as possible. Like so. Maybe since I've just given the purchase organization alone, so it is taking huge data. If I try to give some document type, oh see, oh my god, it is taking a lot of data. So huge data has been picked up. So in this particular standard report, again, my requirement is to add few fields at the output level, right? So the T code is ME2L, and of course we know how to find out the. So for this requirement, I would like to, so first of all, let me say vendor and he's the customer. This is what I just thought of starting. So always it will be started like this and it will be ended like this. So customer will be requesting for the purchase order and vendor will be providing the sales order against to the PO. Right. So now in this particular example, so client has asked us to add few more fields at the output level. Assume the case. So that is not the exact requirement that we have worked on, but yeah, this is one of the use cases that we can. Yes, definitely we should not talk on the business cases which we have really worked in the companies, but still I would like to give you the context of the requirement which you have worked on, but that was not the original requirement that we have worked on. Right. Now we have a standard table EKET, standard table called scheduling line agreements. So which is also purchase order related information. So from this table, client has asked us to add these two fields. So one is item delivery date and the other one is statistical relevant delivery date. So client is expecting us to add these two fields at the output of MEL. I hope you got my context. So let me open the transaction code again. Let me load the variant. So since I don't know what is the data that I have to give, I always depend on the variant, existing variants which are available in the system. Client is expecting us to add these two fields like item delivery date along with statistical delivery date. Of course, like you can take any of the fields here. Like if the field is not available on the output, if any field, let's say if this particular field is not available on this output, right, then happily you can convey that. Even we have added this field also in the output. You can convey the context in this way. So whatever the field which is not available on the screen. So see, so all these are all the fields. Right? These are all the fields along with the data, right? So you just mention like, okay, let us try to add these two fields at the output level, or you can mention even this field also we have added, this field also we have added. Make sure this particular field is not available on the output at least for now, so that you can add it. If the field is already available, there is no point of need. There is no point in adding the field again, right? So make sure if at all you want to add these two fields, make sure these two fields are not available at the output level, right? So how to find the baddie? So for this particular requirement, I just wanted to go with new baddie concept. Few people will also call it as kernel baddie, or few people call it as new baddie, but at least just go with the context. So I just wanted to explain you how to find out the baddie for this particular requirement and how to implement the same baddie, right? So first let me go to SC93 ME2L. So just go for it. Take the package ME, right? So now slash and SC84 enhancements. Let me expand it. Business add-ins. Go for it. Package. Let me say execute. See, there are almost 119 baddies are available, right? So, but still, as I have mentioned you already, let us not depend on. Sign out. Baddie for ME2L in SAP ABAP. See, new fields additions in standard. Basically, let's assume the case we are taking the requirements from the Google. Assume in that case, in that way also. Okay, don't worry. So see, you can please check this particular baddie. Okay, what is the baddie? ME change out tab cus. You can use this, right? You can use this, but make sure. But at least let's go and verify this particular baddie is available in these baddies or not. Of course, it will be there, but you need to focus. See, ME change out tab cus. The same thing is given here. So let us try to open this particular baddie and let's try to implement the logic and what are the things that we have to do. Right? We know if at all we find the baddie, so we need to go back to T code SC18. So since we have already taken it, so it is already, I mean, auto copied, which is a concept of ABAP memory. Okay, we will talk on it also again after some time. ABAP memory, what is SAP memory, what is ABAP memory in the coming classes. Now let me go for display. So since, see, now let me open the other baddie which we have worked on recently. I think this one. So this particular this kind of screen visibility, we call it as classical baddie, whereas new baddie, classical meaning with old approach baddie. So whereas new baddie, so this particular baddie will be available under a spot. Under spot. So new baddies will always be available under enhancement spot. Okay, we will try to see what exactly it is and how we have to implement and all these things. So this is what we have found. Now, so this is a classical baddie. In the classical baddie, directly you can see the baddie name. So you will not have any enhancement spot or something like that. So this is what I wanted to explain you. Okay, fine. Now, so let's assume this is my baddie and I just want to implement it. So how to implement a baddie? We know it, right? So either you go to SC19 or you go even from here also you can do the implementation, right? So since it is a kernel baddie, sorry, new baddie kind of stuff. So directly simply right click on it. Right click on it. Even if you are in SC18 display, right click on it directly. Okay, definitely we know like what exactly baddie contains. See, baddie definition. See, guys, I want you to know this point also. This is very, very important. So many people are getting confused with this. So we have two things. One is baddie definition and the respect to T code is SC18. Baddie definition contains what this particular OOPS concept. So that is the reason you might feel a bit difficulty. So Badi definition, the T code is SE18, and the Badi definition will have the interface. And of course, interface will have the methods. We call them as null methods, meaning like we don't have any code in that, right? Whereas this one, the other one which I'm trying to talk now is Badi implementation. Implementation, which is SE19. So it will have class and we can have, of course, either it is an interface or a class, definitely we will be having the methods. But whereas if it is an interface, we will be having null methods where there is no code at all. If it is a class, we can have, sorry, my bad. Implemented. Sorry. So we can have implemented methods. This is what I wanted to convey you. Right. So what do you mean by that, sir? So we are a little confused here. So let me go to SE18. So can I open it? Yeah. So let me open the previous one. So this is my Badi definition. Badi definition will have the interface. So this is the interface name. Right. This is the interface name. Of course, either it is an interface or a method class. Both either interface or class will have methods. So Badi definition will have the interface. It will have the methods. If you double click on it, you cannot find any data there. I mean, you cannot find any code there. You will be having only the parameters. What are the import parameters? What are the export parameters? What are the changing parameters? What are returning parameters? All this stuff will be there. Right. So I want you to remember this point. Badi definition will have the interface, and the interface will have the methods, which are null methods, meaning no implemented code. Right. Now let me go back to the implementation part for some time. So assume this case. So here, this is my implementation. This is my implementation. This is my Badi implementation. Apparently, of course, even it also has the interface, but can you see this? Interface will have the class, and this class will be having the methods. If you double click on it, you can find the logic. This is what my intention or my point is. I hope you understand this, right? So yeah, no problem. We will be discussing on the OOPS concept also once we are done with enhancements concept, right? My plan is to start the entire SAP ABAP syllabus from scratch, even from data types and operations, select queries, joins, for all entries, messages, all the fundamentals followed by reports, GDIC, BDC, enhancements, all this stuff. I just wanted to start in that way, like I'm to decide on the part. So let's see how it goes. Now, now the current situation is like, let me go back to the Badi. So this is my Badi, and of course, from here SE18 itself, you can right click on it and you can create the implementation, or even if you go to SE19, context remains same. So we have to create the implementation. We have to create the implementation. We have to edit the implementation. So we have to create the implementation. If it is a new Badi, for sure we have to provide the spot name. For sure we have to provide the spot name. Right. What is the spot name here? So this is a spot name. So you have to provide your spot name here and create implementation. Again, the same picture will come. Or either you do it from SE19 or you do it from SE18. Both are same. So let me close this. Let me close this. Let me close this. Yeah. So now let me right click on it, create it. So either you do it from there or you do it from here. That's it. Both are same. Now let me create the implementation. This is the same screen you have got. Or if you want me to go to SE19 and do it from there, same context. So create implementation, you have got the same pop-up. We are at SE19 here and we are at SE18 here. The context remains same, right? So now let me close this SE19 wala. So now enhancement name, jet enhancement implementation underscore ME2L. Okay, adding new, sorry, fields. That's it. You don't need to give the composite enhancement implementation. It is for something else. So at least for now, let us not focus on it. So you just say, OK, you have created the enhancement implementation. So let me save it. So whatever the enhancement implementation that you have selected, of course, we need to save that under the package, proper package, and we have to save the enhancement implementation under the TR. So I just have saved it on the local object for now. So as part of this, first what we have decided, what we have created, sorry, enhancement is the first one that we have created, and let's see. So we have selected the same thing and say continue. So now what we are doing, we are creating the Badi implementation. See guys, if it is a classical Badi and if you want to create the implementation for the classical Badi, you are not creating all these enhancement implementations and focusing on the spot and all. But if it is a new Badi, you have to do all these things, right? Badi implementation. So Badi implementation, let's say ME2L, and provide some description, like meaningful description. Adding new fields. That's it. Now, as I had told you, if it is an implementation, we will be having the class. This is what I have conveyed you here. If it is a Badi implementation, we will be having a class, right? So let's provide some class meaningful name, GCL. Of course, if it is a class, let us start with GCL. If it is an interface, ZIF. GCL, GIF. That's it. So ME2L. That's it. Let me say continue. So now let's take an empty class for you to write the logic. So let's take the empty class. If you have really observed, so what are all the things that you have created so far? Sorry, I think I have created. Yeah, this is I have created an implementation as well. Along with that, I have even created class also. So these are the three things that we have created. If at all you are trying to implement a new Badi. New Badi. So these are all the three things that you need to focus on. If at all you are creating an implementation for the new Badi, first we have to create the enhancement implementation, and then you have to create the Badi implementation, and then finally you have to create the class for us to write the logic, right? Perfect. Now let me go back. Now, so make sure your enhancement implementation is active. First, let's activate your enhancement implementation, and your implementation will be called. See, this is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, your enhancement implementation is activated. And next, your Badi. This is your Badi implementation. Let me double click on it. Even this is also clear. This particular Badi runtime behavior is what the implementation will be called. And this is also correct. Now let me click on the class. So this is the class that you have created. Let me double click on this first. So it is inactive. Let me activate it. That's it. So make sure you have created three things. So make sure all are active. So one is enhancement implementation, and the other one is this one, and the last one is this one. So make sure each and everything is activated. This is active. This is active. Your enhancement is active. The runtime behavior. Oh, sorry. Why it is not active? Now, okay. Now let me double click on it. So go for it. So let me see whether this particular breakpoint is being triggered or not, so that I can. Why this runtime behavior is implementations? This is the one which I have created. Yeah, this is being called. Okay. Now I have only one session. Now let me go to ME2L. Let's see, since I have kept the breakpoint, let us check that particular breakpoint is being triggered or not. Let me select the variant and then let me say execute. This is how I always do. So I don't write the code blindly. So first I'll make sure the place where we are about to write the logic is being triggered or not. I'll just check it first. The breakpoint is triggered. Let me go to desktop and the breakpoint is triggered. GCL ME2L. This is the class. So now, yes, I think I am almost at the right place. So now let me go back to the class and see. In this particular method, I'm just about to write the logic. So you just click on the signature part where you will be having what are all the importing parameters, what are the exporting parameters, and what are all these things. We'll check it out. So I think this is the table actually. This is sort of a table. So let me copy this and let me paste it here. So see, it has around 14,053 records and 68 fields. It has 14,053 records. This is what I think we are getting at the output level. Let me double click on it. I think these are the values that we are getting at the output. Right? These are the values that we are getting at the output level. Now, the requirement is we have to add two fields at the output. Right? So yeah, I don't need this screen at all. So let me go back to desktop 3. Now, if I go see, this is what I always do. So I'll open the debugger mode. I'll open the debugger session and I'll open the code, place where you need to write the logic. So here, this is a class. So in the earlier examples, so if you have really, if you remember it practically, so if at all I want to add a new field here, make sure the field is available here. But here, this is a kind of open internal table. So meaning like you don't have any reference here to add the field at the structure level. So this is a table which is of type table. That's it. But you don't know at which you have. So in the earlier examples, if you really remember, what did we do? So we were having some type reference here in that particular structure. We just have added the field over there. So automatically the field will be available here. So then we wrote the logic to fill the field. But this case is different. Here we don't have any difference at all. But if you really observe here, see parameter, which is my structure name. So see, this is my structure name. So here it is a structure name. Now this is my structure and I need to add the field here. See here, name. So name of the dictionary type. Name of the dictionary type. So maybe this is my structure. Here we need to add the field. At least I need to add the field. Later, this is what that particular difference. That is how we have done the analysis. And yeah, I think let me take this particular one and let me go back to S11. If it is a structure, select this and paste it over here. See, I think yes, this is a structure. Now I think we need to add the field here. Fields here. So this is what we have done. So earlier case was different. It was quite different. But this case, earlier case was what? It was the, let's assume this is the internal table, final internal table, which is coming at the output. Type, some reference was there. But here it is generic type. It's a type table. That's it. Meaning it's a table. There is no reference for this table. So if you have really observed this particular parameters, here there is a parameter which is an importing parameter, which is of structure name. So in that particular structure name, dynamically, I found it when I was there in the debugging mode itself. I just found out the structure name. Now I have just opened it in the S11 transaction code. See guys, I got to know this particular structure name only when I was there in the debugging mode. So debugging is very, very important for us to confirm what is the place and what exactly we have to do. Right. So I think I have got the information. Now let me just say execute. So I don't need this for some time. So now where is this? So this is the output structure that I'm getting. So I need to add two fields here. So directly you cannot go and change it. So since it's standard one, system won't allow you to add, to change any, to add new fields here. So we have an only option is append structure. So these are all standard ones. So now let's go and create your own standard one. So G, this is for right? underscore ME2L. That's it. ME2L. So now two fields at ME2L for was per vendor, whatever. So now here what I'll do, I'll say like, so what are all the fields that we thought of adding? So let me go back to a table called so here we thought of adding these two fields. You thought of adding these two fields. Assume this is what your requirement, right? So now EINDT, SL, FDT, both data element and field names are same. So now let me come here. So since we adjusted the append structure and all, so make sure GEINDT is of type NDT item delivery date. So I'm just trying to give like the field names with G starting. G SL FDT is of type SL FDT. That's it. So statistical delivery date, item delivery date. So make sure all the components are saved under the same TR. So these are just the warnings. You don't need to worry about warnings. So these two fields are added at the output level. So let me go back. So make sure this is active. Don't try to activate the standard structure. We have discussed this already. So now, so even this is also not needed. So basically for these two fields, we have the values at EKET. Simple. For these two fields, the fields which you have added at the output, we have the values at this table. Assume like in the business scenario, the business is expecting these two fields at the output level. That's it. And we need to add these two fields at the output. That is the requirement. And where exactly those fields are available? These fields are available at the EKET table, schedule and agreement table. Guys, ideally, this is not the exact structure where we have to add, but at least we got this in the debugging in this server. So you just go with this flow. Okay, you just please go with this flow. In the debugging, we got this structure and we have added the fields over there. And we need to see, we have added, so you don't need to go here, just come down. See, these two fields are added at the down, at the bottom. So now these two fields will be available. I'll show that to you now. So now again, let me /show ME2L. Now we have added the fields at the structure. Let us see. Are we really getting those fields at the output or not? So since we have added the fields at the output, let's see. At least if you follow these kind of scenarios and all, right? Of course, this is not the exact requirement that you have worked on, but you will get some basic idea. You can talk in the evaluations and all, right? So now what was the table that we have seen? This is the table, right? CH out tab. Where is this? Yeah, CH out tab. Now I'm in the same method where I am about to write the logic. So CH out tab. Let me double click on it. So see, these are from 1 to 51 fields only. You can see now. I just want to go to the far most right. Right. See, these two fields are added actually. If you have really observed it, these two fields are added. GEANDT, GSLFDT. These two fields are added at output level. This table, because for this particular table, the reference structure is the same thing where we have added the fields. This one, there only we added. So automatically these two fields are available in the final table now. But now we need to fill the values. That's it. We need to fill the values for these two based on this particular PO. Let's say, let me come to foremost right. So this is my PO. For this PO and for this item, what exactly the values for these two? That's it. This is what the context. So what we have to do is, so for this particular PO, for this particular PO and respect to this particular item, we have to go back to this table, EKET, where we have the values, right? Let me execute it. Let me take this and the item is, and let me execute it. So we have to take these two values and fill up here. Fill up here and here. EANDT value here and this value here. That is what we have to do, right? So I think most of the cases that we have covered. Now let me go back to the coding point. So how to do that? But the thing is, I really don't want to waste the time here. The thing is, so here This is a generic internal table. So I definitely cannot go with for loops and all these things. So see, coding is totally your choice. Like you can find many ways to write the logic, but this is what I'm just trying to go. But anyway, first for all the respective pivots, I need to get the values from EKT table. Meaning here we saw almost 14,000 records, right? In the output of this particular screen, right? For all those pivots and respective to the items, we have to fetch the values from this table. So first what I'm trying to do is types begin of st underscore data end of st underscore data. So from this table, I need to fetch the data now. So first let me take EBLN type ln EBLP type EBLP dt dt, right? Last fill is SLFTT SLFTT. Right. What my structure, and let me even create the work area also for this. Sorry, WA underscore data type ST underscore data T underscore data type. Just going with very basic way of writing the logic so that the people who are new to SAP ABAP or who are not so confident in SAP ABAP, who are not so confident in SAP ABAP, they'll also understand this, right? So I have created the work area and I have even created the internal table as well. So now this is what the approach that I have worked on out. Let me do this. ch underscore out tab underscore temp type table of. We know in this particular, now this particular internal table is of type, because this is the structure. No, this structure we have got here in this particular parameter value, right? So that's that I'm creating a local internal table which is of type same thing. So structure, since it is a structure, I need an internal table. So I just have created like this. So I just have created a local internal table. Now what I'm trying to do is this particular internal table pass the value like this. See, whatever the values that we have got here, I'm just passing all the values to this, because the problem with this particular internal table is I cannot directly write the field symbols, or I directly cannot create the work areas and all for this, because this is a dynamic, I mean, not dynamic internal table. This is very generic one, like we don't have any difference here. So that is the reason what I've done. So here I have the values. I just have passed all the values to this particular internal table, which is of type same thing. Which is of type same thing. Now let's select all these four fields. Let me go for signature down. Let me select all these four fields from this particular table, EKET. Okay, let me do this. Control scroll. Many of the people don't know this. Click on Alt. Sorry, not Alt, not Control, Alt. Long press Alt. Now select these four. From table. What is the table? IT underscore data. You are selecting all these four fields from EKET and you are storing in an internal table for all entries in. For all entries in, and make sure, guys, since I'm just about to write for all entries for this, if is not initial, Control X, Control V, all entries in, where, sorry, EBLN, right? EBLN is equal to hyphen EBLN and ELP is equal to LP. That's it. If say sub C is equal to 0, then whatever table by EBLN and EBLP. That's it. Pretty good. So what exactly your point of writing this logic, sir? See, we have to loop all the records and we have to fill the last two fields of this particular internal table. I cannot perform many actions on this particular table. I just have temporarily passed all these values to another internal table, which is having the proper reference, structure type reference. So now I have all the data here. So by using this particular data for orientation of this particular table, I just have selected all these four fields from this table. Sir, we need only these two fields, or no, sir? Why do we need these two fields? So these two fields are needed for the comparison, and these two fields need to be passed to the final output table. That's it. So no problem. Just have a look on it. You will be getting it. Don't worry. Look at table into. Now I need a work area also for this. So I have created the structure table, right? So WA underscore, let me say out. Select this. I just have even created the work area also, WA underscore out, meaning output. That is what I mean to say. Right now, so how many records are here? We have around 14,000 change records, right? So now for all those records, we have two fields at the last. We need to fill those fields. So how to fill them? So loop all the records and now read this table IT underscore data into WA underscore data with the key with which we have to compare. In this table, we have both EBLN and EBLP. Even in this table, we have these two. That is the reason while fetching the data from this table, we even fetch these two. So for the comparison, okay. Now EBLN is equal to hyphen EBLN. Oh, we have this. Right. So size sub RC equal to 0. Hit enter, save it. So now, so of course here I can write my pseudocode like fetch the data from EKT based on the output table data, and then you can write the pseudocode and all. So now by passing these two EBLN and EBLP, which are there in the final output table, and of course this particular the records of this particular internal table will be coming to this work area one by one. So for the first record, the value will be here. EBLN value will be stored at WA out EBLN. EBLP value will be there at WA out EBLP. So by passing these two to this particular table, we are just trying to fetch the data to this one. Now underscore out hyphen G, what is it? EINDT is equal to here the second one GSLFDT. So now, of course, we get the values here. We will get the values here hyphen GEINDT, correct? Underscore data hyphen GSLFDT. That's it. What is that? WA data. Oh, sorry. Here we don't have G, right? It's my bad. So these values are from EKT table directly. WA data from this one. This is from this. So here we have these two fields directly. We don't have any G there. We got the values here. So if the condition is matched, EBL and EBLP values are matched to this particular table. So we're just directly passing those values to the final output table, to this one. Right now, of course, we have changed the work area. Now let us modify the internal table. So we have the values at the work area now. We have to modify the internal table with this work area. Okay, let's even write the statement modify this table, right? So this table from WA underscore out. So we're transporting, what are the fields that we are transporting? Okay, let me go with index first. So we can modify the internal table in two ways, either by index or by where condition. So we have to map the exact record, right? So the moment when the loop is started, let us store, since I don't have time, I'm just creating a local work area in the new syntaxes. So say hyphen tabx. Sir, directly we can use this. No, sir. Why are you wasting your time by storing this value here? No, site tabx will be changed the moment the read is successful. Right. So that is the reason. No, I just want to change the exact record which is there in this internal table, not based on this. I just want to change based on this. So now, because we are modifying the same table, no. So the moment when the loop is started, for the first record it will be 1. For the second record it will be 2. For the 10th record it will be 10. Now we need to modify the 10th record only. So that is the reason I just have stored the site tabx value the moment when the loop is started. So now here I have the value. So index is this, and transporting. What are the fields that you are transporting? So you are transporting this and this, nothing else. So this is a syntax. This is a syntax that we have to follow. So let me save it, syntax check it. So I think most of my logic is done. So we have the data from equity table and we have fetched it. I really don't want to write the select query inside the loop because that's a lot of problems. Like because we have, let's assume we have 14,000 records, 14,000 times I have to fetch the data from equity table. That's a blender mistake. So that is the reason before my loop starts to update the values, to update the fields, I mean to say, right? I just have fetched the data from equity table in a single shot by using this for all entries concept. Right now, since I have the data in my internal table, we can go with read statement, and of course we are even going with binary search. Since we are, why we are using binary search? Since this table is already sorted with these two fields. Since this table is already sorted with these two fields, so even binary search also works very fine, right? So what the moment when the values are passed to the final table work area, we just modify in the table the same index of this, only these transporting these two fields. That's it. So I think our code will work perfect. Now, apparently this is not the table which is being, populated at the output. We have the other table. So just reverse this statement, meaning you have all the changes here, right? Now, once after we are done with this, after the loop statement, right? So I want you to write this. That's it. Why we are doing this means like looping this particular table, which is a generic one, because this is a generic one. I hope you know it. I hope you know it, right? This is a generic one. So all these loop conditions, modify statements will work like very tough. I mean, like we have to like spend a lot of time to work on the table. So simply, so I just have passed this particular data to some temporary table, which is of same reference where we have added the fields. And finally, once everything is done, so we are just moving the same data to the output table. That's it. So now let me activate this. My breakpoint is there. I don't have the breakpoint. So now, but ideally we don't go with this. So break 75 above 42. 75 above 42. Let me activate this. Control F3. Done. That's it. Now, so I don't need this. I don't need this. I don't this. Just let me reload this transaction ME2L. So let me take the variant and let me execute it. I know we spent a lot of time for this requirement, but yeah, we will be getting the real-time stuff on like where exactly we have to keep the breakpoint, the moment the breakpoint is set. So how to start the process and how to start the analysis and all these things, right? So the debug is started. So initially here I have 14,053 records. Here no records at all. But the moment when I click on F5, record F5. Now see, all the records are passed to this particular internal table. This has the proper reference, this one. So now let me go back F6. Now we got size of RC success. So we got around how many? 13,000. Yeah, 13,778 records. So now we are taking all those data and see, based on the site type XC, for the first record it will be 1. I'm just trying to have that stored internally. So now we are modifying it. We are doing all these things for all the 14,000 records, and finally let me keep a breakpoint here. Let me say F7. So here I got it here. So now you have all the values here. See, let me delete this. You have all the data here. So let me take this one. Here we have changed so far. So let me go last. So here we have changed. In this particular internal table, temp only we have the values. But if you really look at the other table, this table, just go back. You don't have these values because all the changes that we have done on the temp table, underscore temp table, right? So now what we are doing is just passing the same data to the main table. So now even if you look at this table, you will be having the data. See, since we have passed all the data, that's it. Let me say F8. You can see the output, but this is the standard layout. Like we can even change the layout. So I think the fields are hidden here. Item delivery date and statistical relevant delivery date. So select these two and let them, let us push them to left side where we can see the fields. Push this side. So now you can find these two here. Let me say OK. See, these two fields are added. These two fields are added at the output. So you can go and verify them. So yeah, we have done this particular requirement. Thank you so much for your time. Have a nice day.